something truly remarkable occurred last night. My darling, something so profound, so unexpected, that your heart is still trying to catch up, still racing with emotions that are difficult to describe. Your mind may be circling the moment over and over again, asking if it really happened, if it was truly real, if the person you love really did what they did. And I can tell you with certainty, they did. You were taken aback, not because it was wrong, not because it was harmful, but because it was so unlike anything they have ever done, so far removed from what anyone could have predicted, that even their closest relatives, those who have known them their entire lives, would have never imagined this. It was not a minor decision. It was not a casual choice. This was a moment that altered the trajectory of their life, a pivotal point that will reverberate far beyond last night. Moments like this do not come often. When they do, they arrive without warning, leaving us stunned, confused, and emotionally unprepared. And now, you find yourself in the midst of a whirlwind of feelings that defy description. Your heart races, your thoughts spin, curiosity is entangled with concern, hope brushes up against fear, and excitement sits side by side with anxiety. You are deeply interested in understanding, yes, but you are also slightly afraid. Fear is natural when the world shifts so suddenly under your feet. But I sense it, my love, and I want you to know that it is not your fault to feel this way. You are human, and your heart has been shaken by the extraordinary. You may be asking yourself, why? Why would they act in such a daring way? Why at this precise moment? Why in a manner that defied all expectation? The questions are natural, they are valid, and I am here to answer them. There is no longer any need for you to wonder in silence or to wrestle with doubt alone. By the end of this message, clarity will replace confusion, peace will replace uncertainty, and understanding will replace fear. So take a deep breath. Let your mind settle. Slow the beating of your heart just slightly. And stay with me as I help you piece together what truly happened, because when you see the full picture, you will realize there was never any reason to be afraid. Last night, your significant someone acted with courage that can only come from the deepest places of the soul. It was extreme bravery, not recklessness. It was deliberate, purposeful, and necessary. The world may judge it as hasty or impulsive, as though they acted without thinking, but they did not. What propelled them forward was a powerful energy, one that has been quietly building inside them for months, maybe even years. It was fueled by reflection, by love, by a longing for truth that could no longer be denied. They had reached a point where remaining silent or remaining small was no longer an option. The universe had prepared them for this. And in that sacred timing, they stepped forward. I see the love you hold for this person. I understand how much they mean to you, how much joy they bring into your life, and how deeply their struggles affect your emotions. That is why it is so important that you hear what I am about to tell you. What occurred was not careless. It was not reckless. It was not a thoughtless act born from ignorance. Even though it shocked you in the moment, it was intentional. It carried weight, meaning, and significance. The events of last night were orchestrated by a higher power. They were not random. They were designed to bring growth, to foster understanding, to allow transformation not only for your loved one, but for everyone connected to this moment. So once again, take a deep breath. Allow your shoulders to relax. Let your mind quiet for just a moment. We will walk through the truth together. By the time we reach the end, you will see the entire picture, and you will understand why there was never any reason to be afraid. In place of fear, you will find healing. In place of confusion, understanding. In place of doubt, Hope. Now, let me reveal something crucial. Trouble has been quietly brewing in the household of your loved one. What unfolded last night did not emerge from nowhere. It was the climax of a long, silent tension, a storm that had been forming for some time. Your loved one witnessed something that left them bewildered, something that changed the rhythm of their life in an instant. Even now, they are processing, trying to comprehend the magnitude of what occurred. They are not disoriented because of malice or thoughtlessness, but because truth has a way of disrupting comfort and expectation. As I mentioned, what they did was completely unexpected. Even those closest to them, those who believed they knew every nuance of their being, never anticipated this bold move. Their family, understandably, is now struggling to make sense of it. They are bewildered, hesitant, and unsure of how to respond. Your heart may tighten as you hear this. You may ask yourself, how could they have acted so boldly? What could have driven them to this extreme? And why is the reaction of their loved ones so heavy, so almost palpable? These questions are natural, my darling. They show the depth of your care and the magnitude of your emotional investment. I assure you, despite appearances, there was no malice, no harm intended. What your loved one did was an act of profound honesty. It was a choice made from deep within, a place of truth that had previously remained hidden, even from those closest to them. That is why their family is struggling. It is not just the act itself, but the revelation of something deeper, something previously unseen. Until last night, even they may not have been aware of this side of themselves. But you, my darling, are different. You have always had an awareness that goes beyond appearances. You have always sensed a deeper current beneath the surface. That is why you are uniquely equipped to understand, and why I am here to guide you through the implications. Yesterday's events are not isolated. They are part of a larger, unfolding narrative. This is a turning point, not a conclusion. What feels disruptive now will eventually become a source of healing. What feels confusing now will ultimately lead to clarity. What feels painful now will pave the way for growth. Your loved one's decision was not just brave. It was transformative. It forced them to confront truths that they could no longer avoid. It required stepping away from familiarity and embracing the unknown. This was not a reckless leap. It was a calculated step toward authenticity, toward a life lived fully and honestly. You may have noticed changes in them recently, a restlessness, a yearning for connection, a subtle dissatisfaction with the familiar. That inner voice that they could no longer ignore is what guided them last night. Yes, their loved ones may still be struggling to understand. Confusion and despair are present, but this is not the end of the story. It is only the beginning of a metamorphosis. And you, my darling, are an essential part of this journey. Your love, patience, and trust are the supports upon which they will lean. They were not naive about the difficulty of what they did. They understood the cost, but they also understood the necessity of truth. Now, let us talk about their family. Last night, your loved one approached them with sincerity, with devotion, not with fear or anger. For those who once resisted your bond, who misunderstood and judged, this moment was revolutionary. Love triumphed. Even in the face of resistance, they stood firm. They faced their family, looked them in the eyes, and affirmed that the connection they share with you cannot be broken. It required extraordinary courage and vulnerability, but it was the only path toward authenticity. They chose love over fear, authenticity over approval, truth over comfort, and in that choice, they aligned themselves with a higher power, with destiny itself. This connection, the one you share, is not casual. It is sacred. It is divinely orchestrated. It is stronger than doubt, stronger than opposition, stronger than any challenge that may appear in your path. Do you see it now? Paths are clearing, doors once closed are opening. Love is not the only force at work here. Fate, divine alignment, and cosmic timing are all converging in your favor, and the blessings for you are already on their way. Perhaps you have known scarcity, felt uncertainty, or questioned whether your hard work and faith would ever be rewarded. Your prayers have been heard, your faith has been seen, and abundance, in all its forms, is preparing to meet you. Be open, be receptive. The universe cannot pour into a heart that remains closed. Now is the time to align with the flow of abundance, to trust, to believe, and to act with faith. Through prayer, meditation, and alignment with the Holy Spirit, the invisible becomes visible, the impossible becomes real. The long-awaited blessings are already moving toward you. Feel the shift in your energy. The tides are turning. This is the breakthrough you have been waiting for, the courage that your loved one demonstrated, the love that has been tested, the faith that has endured. All of it is leading to transformation. Your role is essential. Your belief, your patience, and your unwavering support are part of the equation. You are not a bystander. You are a participant in this divine orchestration. This is your time. This is your moment. The universe has conspired in your favor. Open your heart. Accept the blessings. Trust the process. The greatest is yet to come.